it is. And that was since the beginning. They developed capoeira and fighting technique, pure fighting technique, in a way that whoever saw it would not realize that they were preparing to confront, to fight, to go to war. So they had to create these movements, they had to create the art form to develop in a way that whoever saw it would think they are just having fun. And it's still
more than having fun, it's like ballet.
That's what you see, but that's not what it is.
Somebody else in the roda, in the middle of the roda, it's kind of like a conversation you're having between you and the other person. You're trying to flow and really feel their ashe or energy. So.
But there seems to be a winner and
a loser. Sometimes there is, depending on how the game's flowing. Like you can have a joking game, you can have a really beautiful game, you can have an aggressive game where there's mainly a loser and a winner.
Yeah, the weekend doesn't seem like it's ever ending, but no, the whole batizado, it starts and it'll be ending late tonight. You know, we all celebrate for the end of it. After our show, we'll be doing a ukulele. My students from Albuquerque will be doing a ukulele exhibition tonight at the Dark Matter Project show, and we started off Thursday night when Marisa arrived Thursday, and she gave a samba workshop, and she taught that, and then right after her samba workshop she taught a capoeira workshop and passed on some of the sequences that she's learned throughout her career.
How we organize the samba de roda. Usually this circle does not get bigger, it gets smaller and smaller. So it represents the world. The roda, it's rounded, it's the world for us. And what it means is once you enter that circle, once you enter the roda, it's like stepping out of the door in the morning. You go into the world, you walk into the world, and you never know what will happen. You never know. So you have to be always ready to respond to whatever happens, to whatever comes. So the circle again, the roda, represents the world for capoeiristas.
This weekend I'm having my first batizado outside of Chicago in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The people from out of town, they got to t-shirt workshops from Colorado Springs and San Antonio. They taught their workshops to students that came to the event. Right after that we had an open roda, and then the batizado itself, baptizing these brand new students.
In our world, I think in America, you know, we just don't normally stay with people that we've met the first day and, you know, do those kinds of things. And in Capoeira, it's totally normal. This is kind of the culture we've built, you know. I've traveled different bachizados, and there's almost an automatic connection with somebody else because they share the same passion, if you will, for capoeira as I do, and so we connect automatically. So we have that in common, I guess.
It's an opportunity for everybody who from different groups and normally would not see each other because they live in different cities to interact within the roda of capoeira, and that's what we all train for, is to play each other. And personally, I think that's one of the best parts about capoeira, is to play someone that you don't know much about but slightly familiar with and have seen around, and then you just build like a certain relationship that can only be expressed within the roda. And then every time you see them, you know, that relationship grows. So it's beautiful.
I think the best way that you can kind of show anybody what capoeira is all about is bring them to a roda and show them, you know, how the game is played, and get them to kind of feel the energy in the roda, and they kind of observe how it is, and you can model that for them, and then they're able to kind of grasp what it's all about physically.
Now, well, kids are into breakdancing, kids are into hip-hop, kids are into other ways of dancing. The best way to explain it to them is it's a dance and it's a fight. It's like breakdancing, but you fight. And breakdancing comes from the arts of capoeira in one form or another. The kids are totally receptive to the instruments that we use, super simple rhythms. They find a lot of comfort in it. They find that if they can't do physical movements, they can do musical movements, or they can sing. So there's an aspect of capoeira for every kid or every person out there.
Kids understand how the game is played usually. They want to go in and play. A lot of times they're not sure what to do. You know, they freeze up just like adults do when they get in there and actually try it. And it's not just one-dimensional, like they get it. Capoeira has so many different more meanings than just go in and play somebody and try to knock them down, or try to show your kicks, or try to show your acrobatic movements. There's music, there's the energy that you guys can provide around the roda, people clapping, people singing these songs about the history of capoeira, and have so many more meanings. So I think it's not as one-dimensional as just getting it. So.
It's very hard to explain. It's definitely a dance. It's definitely an art form, martial arts. So I would say it could be an extreme sport. Yeah, it could be something like that. But there's just so much more. You know, so much more about capoeira. That it's just not with sport. It's culture. It's family. It's deeper than that. I mean, it's definitely it's a mental thing too. You know, you have to get inside your brain and really work it, because your brain will tell you to stop, stop, stop. And once you break through those walls, you're unstoppable. You have to trust yourself. For the most part, I mean, you know, you have to listen to your brain. If you're older or something, you know that something's hurting, you know, and your brain's saying, calm down, you know. But if not, you know, you know you can do it. You know you have the physical ability, the technique. Then do it, you know, and you can definitely get it for sure.
Really think through it and find some good names. There are a few of you that we already came up with a name.
Well, the master-student relationship is like your master is going to be the one who guides you throughout your capoeira life, and they're going to teach you the do's and don'ts of the roda, how to play, what to do in certain situations, and hopefully they'll also like give you some tips on like how to go through your normal life as well, like how to translate the principles of capoeira into day-to-day life. So your master is going to be your teacher. He's going to guide you throughout everything involved in capoeira, inside and outside of the roda. I have in my opinion, one of the best mestres in the world, Contra Mestre Marisa.
Mopping up the floor right now behind you.
Exactly. See, I wasn't even looking, and that's the kind of like, not everyone does that, but Marisa does. She's a very humble person. Like, I love training with Marisa because she's like, she's by far a better person than me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I like to be around her. The way that she treats other people, the way that she just shows respect is like so admirable, and they're like, makes me think that, okay, I can be better than what I am, like just by the way she is. Like,
in Brazil, we tend to be very far removed from our culture, from our ancestors, from African culture. We tend to kind of separate ourselves, discouraged from reaching out for the culture that was brought to Brazil by Africans. So walking to Capoeira school brought me right face to face with all those aspects of African culture that was so much missing in my life. All the way to today, Capoeira is still there as a means of bringing people together, giving them a sense of direction, and guiding them as to how to confront situations in Brazilian society that are not fair, that are not equal. For example, we still have a lot of Capoeira schools in Brazil today that are pretty much involved with social work. They are in the favelas, in the very poor regions of the cities in Brazil, and they are offering all kinds of different programs to the children, children that has very little access to what they need. And these programs are bringing them culture, they're bringing them resources and doing whatever they can to kind of elevate and to help them to progress in life as productive individuals.
How many of you know where Capoeira came from?
Portuguese.
What country did it come from?
Brazil.
Raise your hand, please, or I'm going to put duct tape over your mouth and you won't get to talk anymore. Be patient, please. Okay,
Yeah, I think it's very
Brazil.
important
Good.
that
Brazil speaks
all
what
kids
language?
understand
Now you can answer.
where Capoeira comes from and have a good, strong meaning for it, because these are the leaders of Capoeira in the future.